Since the pandemic began, Jandira Freire has been receiving a monthly $50 subsidy, but not from the federal government, nor in Brazilian reais. The seaside town of Maricá, where she works, lives off oil royalties and has decided to spend the money on social plans. It created its own virtual currency, the Mumbuca, to help the poor and the local economy.
Since we can only use mumbucas in our town, the local commerce is still thriving, and we were able to keep our doors open when so many in other parts of the country have closed theirs.
43,000 Brazilians living in Maricá have been able to make ends meet thanks to their Mumbuca cards. But in the rest of Brazil, millions have been left with nothing after the government suspended financial emergency aid last January, just as COVID-19 infections began spiraling out of control. In half a year, the number of Brazilians living in poverty has tripled from 9.5 million last August to more than 27 million in February. Analysts say the situation now is much worse. March was one of the deadliest months in the pandemic, forcing new lockdowns. The government decided to resume the emergency aid this month, but since money is scarce, the handouts will be smaller than last year, an average of $44 per month until the end of July.
The government promised handouts to 44 million Brazilians, which is much less than the 68 million who benefited from the first emergency aid package.
Valdir Canella tells us he is counting the days to receive the promised help. He lost his job and home. Everything he owns is in this supermarket cart.
Since last year, more than 700,000 companies have gone bankrupt. This is dramatic. 14 million jobs were lost in a year and a half.
On Wednesday, the government will move ahead with privatization efforts by auctioning licenses to operate 22 airports. But economists say Brazil will only be able to attract major investments if it proves it can control the pandemic. So far, President Jair Bolsonaro has downplayed the virus, which has killed more than 330,000 people, the second largest death toll in the world. Monica Yanakiev, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.